edition of the Wonderberry Podcast.
I'm Brian,
And I have a head cold.
and you can find us online at wonderberry.com.
You can find me online at Open Darkwing.
And you can find me this week doing Pub and Grub in Hillsdale, and then after that, I'm back at Solfest in Fort Wayne.
Nice.
Been working on a billboard. I think my first, I think it's my first actual billboard design. I don't recall ever doing a billboard before, so I'm just going to count it as my first billboard.
Yeah, the only time I've done anything with a billboard, it was real easy because we just took my dad's campaign sign and adapted it for billboard usage. But that was back in the 90s.
Yeah. This is interesting because it's like a 1200 by 400 pixel image. And I'm like, that's what?
You would think that for billboards, they would want it in vector, not raster.
I thought they'd probably want CMYK.
Well, yeah, that too. Wait, they don't?
No, they want RGB because apparently it's one of the fancy LED lit up ones.
Oh, well, if it's an LED lit up one, that's not nearly as bad and difficult as the traditional banner ones.
Yeah. So I was like reading the image requirements, and I'm like, well, what? And it took me a while. It took me a while to figure out that was probably what was going on. It's like, huh? You want this? You want a small ass image, or what I would consider small, and then
that makes sense though if it's a video board.
Yeah.
Even the RGB versus CYMK makes way more sense because it's not actually being print. It's just a digital image, and those LED boards use LEDs, which are red, green, and blue.
Yep. Whereas I'm used to doing like print stuff. I've done like magazine ads and shit, and massive posters and stuff like that. Well, that's all CMYK. So.
Oh yeah.
It's a little confused, but I figured it out.
Yeah, no, that's not terrible. Yeah. I mean, it could be worse. It could be more difficult, but whatever.
Yep.
So I'm still recovering from my Chicago trip.
Yeah, how was it?
The trip itself was amazing. But Hill and I both have head colds now. So, but no, it was really good. We're going to be doing so we ended up driving up to South Bend, and then we took the South Shore Line train into Chicago. And normally it would have been just even more smooth, but they're doing a whole bunch of maintenance. So from South Bend to Gary, the tracks are closed down. So we ended up getting bused from South Bend to Gary, and then Gary back to South Bend. Which wasn't terrible. Buses are a little more uncomfortable than the trains. I actually like the train.
You say it wasn't terrible, but you literally just said they bust you into Gary, which is probably some of the most. If I were to write a horror novel, that would be like the first sentence. I got on a bus to Gary, Indiana.
Yeah. The only way it would have been worse is if it was they bust me to Bakersfield, California. It's the same idea, just different location. Yeah. But yeah, no, it was nice. Well, the nice thing too is that the train was like $14.70 per person each way, which isn't terrible. And then parking there, because we were there Thursday, Friday, and came back Saturday, was only $21 to park at the airport.
It's not bad.
So yeah, you get the security of long-term airport parking, and the train terminal, or where we ended up picking up the bus as well, it was right there at the train terminal, is right there next to long-term parking. So it wasn't like you had to jump through any hoops. We didn't have to go really into the airport terminal or anything crazy stuff that way. It was real simple, real easy. and then we got passes for CTA, so the L and all the buses. And it was just real easy, real simple, yeah. It wasn't terrible.
Nice.
It was definitely, like I said, it was definitely easy enough. And even if, like the length of time with everything, especially with um especially with the transfers and all that, it didn't take necessarily any faster, but it's so much less stress driving and trying to find parking and all that stuff.
Yeah. That's why I was looking at like taking the Amtrak from somewhere close to here. And like it leaves pretty early and then doesn't get back till super late, but that would be doable.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking. If I'm going to do like a day trip or like a single overnight trip for photographs or whatever, I might try the Amtrak way.
Yeah. Yeah, because it'll take you right into uh oh I looked and I don't remember where it goes.
Yeah, it goes to Central Station, I think,
Yeah.
and then I can get on one of the L's from there.
Yep.
But yeah, no, it's the band itself was really awesome. The openers were really good for the bands, so that was nice.
Cool. Who were they?
The openers were Wargasm UK and Vendrid. Vendrid is the front man is Corey Taylor's kid. Corey
Hmm.
Taylor from Slipknot.
Yeah.
His kid, and then Clown from Slipknot's kid is the drummer.
Hmm.
So we knew it was going to be good when they announced a metal band from Iowa. That's when you know shit's about to get real.
Yeah. From from Iowa.
Yeah. Vendrid UK, it's like a duo kind of it's like a new wave of new metal.
Hmm.
So it was really interesting. It was really good. I absolutely enjoyed both those, and then Bloody Wood is just amazing, especially in concert. And one of the biggest differences between last year when we went and this year is that their rapper Raul, he was sick last year and so didn't make it. So they ended up using recordings for his stuff. And it's so much nicer when they're live than having to get someone's part recorded in.
Nice. Seems like they could have picked somebody up pretty easy, but I don't know.
Maybe, but I'm not sure. Like, he was there and then he ended up getting like food poisoning like the night before or something. Like, it wasn't a long-term sick thing. He just wasn't there for last year's Chicago run.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, it was good. Um, I love Chicago as it is anyway, and we're gonna go see them. I think this is gonna be their. They said this is their last tour because we stuck around a couple hours afterward. Hill got picture taken with a bunch of the band members and stuff. And they
Hmm.
said this is going to be their last tour for a while because they're going to be going back once this tour's done. They're going to be working on their new album.
Hmm. Neat.
So, yeah, if you like, if you like traditional Indian sounding music mixed with heavy metal and hip hop influences, which I know sounds really weird, but check out Bloodywood. They're amazing. They are absolutely amazing. So go last week.
Goo goo.
Last week. Well, I was gonna say so Google, and then I switched it to last week, and I didn't get one out before the other. You know how it goes. Google I/O happened while I was doing my final class for my design class. Oh, by the way, for those of you that were keeping track of that, I passed both my classes with 95% or higher.
Woo!
So apparently, I somewhat smart.
I smarted.
I smarted all over those classes. Anyway, but during my last design class was when Google I/O was pushing out. So we missed doing the live for Google I/O this year.
Yeah.
But this morning I threw on I/O and pictured it over Google Notes app and decided that I was going to try to take notes while listening to Google I/O at 200%. I'm going to tell you this right now. Sundar is very hard to listen to at 2x.
Yeah.
It's very hard to listen to at 2x. Because like his English is good, don't get me wrong, but it's still not perfect. He still has a very heavy accent. And which is great. Love it. But damn, that was hard to listen to at 2x.
So what'd you use? Notepad? You didn't use
I use Google Keep.
Keep. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I just did it all on.
I would have done it in slides.
No, yeah.
Made a presentation about AI called Chat PPT.
Well, I pay for Microsoft's Office suite, so I actually haven't used.
Ew. Why are we friends?
Because as good as Google can make their stuff, they still haven't reached the same level of stuff that I use in Microsoft's. They aren't there yet. They're just not there yet. Not to mention, Google still hasn't fixed the fact that I can put my school document, I can be writing a paper, and I can drop it in my documents under Dave's school and easily and seamlessly jump between my desktop and my laptop with it and have the document ready because of OneDrive. Google sort of had something like that, and then they hid it behind a paywall for workspaces. So for your normal usage, you don't get that you don't get that capability. I can beam stuff back and forth as long as I have an Android machine or other Google device, but seamless transfer of files over desktop and laptops, nah.
You don't use the Google Drive. Oh, what's this tool called? Hold on. Let me open this tool. It says Google Drive. Fancy. There's a Google Drive.
Last time I used it, you had to pay to the auto transfer or the auto syncing, whatever. It couldn't be in it couldn't just be part of the My Document system. It had to be somewhere else. And 2, it was for the paid G Suite users. Which when they took away our unlimited, we stopped doing the G Suite.
They have Google Drive for desktop.
Yep. Required a G Suite. Last time I used it, required a G Suite account.
Yeah, it doesn't require G Suite.
Oh, not anymore, it doesn't?
No.
That's good for them. Now, will it let me choose where I put it?
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I might go back to it then. Because everything that I had tried was either really janky, didn't always work, wasn't seamless, or required a G Suite account.
Well, if I remember right, they had two, like they had developed two separate ones, and they had like the workspace one
Yeah, they
that we were using.
discontinued the free one in favor of the G Suite one.
No, I'm using that's the one I'm using is the free one.
Is it?
Yeah, it hasn't. I think they might still have both, but they have different features depending on
It was
what you do.
all I remember is last time I used it, it was such a frustration that I was thinking everything out there that OneDrive was working seamlessly.
Mm. I use it. I use it with like my business. I have it on my business folder, so it backs all that stuff up, so I don't have to like go downloading files and re-uploading them and stuff.
Yeah, if it works and it's better now, I'm all for that. I last time I tried using it, there was so many issues with it that it was no longer usable for me.
Mm.
So I went off to find a different solution, which I don't necessarily like doing, but at the same time, because also with school, I kind of need to use Microsoft stuff because Google Sheets still, or Google Word, Google, whatever their word thing is, Docs still fucks up formatting when saving as a docx, and I have to upload in docx.
Mm. I don't know. I never use DocX.
I know. I'm required to. It's the same reason why I have Adobe back on my
which is
system again, because I'm
just
required to.
which is which is dumb. And whenever I need a document, I always do a PDF.
Mm, I could probably do a PDF, but they request docx because they can notate and grade off of it. And they can, with all of the what do you call it? There's like an editor mode in Word where you can make notes and highlight certain areas and all that stuff for grading papers. I can get it back that way,
Hmm.
which is really handy and convenient that I can see a bunch of underlined stuff, hover over the underline, and it tells me all the notes for what the teachers were sort of the professors were responding back to. So it was really helpful that way.
Yeah, speaking of PDF, that was what I was expecting I'd need for the billboard. I was expecting a PDF file. And
What are you doing? Just sending him a PNG?
yep. It said
Jeez,
JPEG or PNG or a non-animated GIF.
that's terrifying.
Yeah.
You think they want something with better compression or no compression?
I don't know, Dave. That's not my board.
I know. But yeah, Google I/O, year of the AI.
Yeah.
There was tons of AI stuff coming through.
That's why I had that one mom joke last week.
A ton of AI, and let's see, 1, 2, 3 new pieces of hardware.
Yeah. The 7A Fold and the tablet. Well, they announced the tablet, what, last year? Or it
They
leaked
announced
last
that it
year and
was
they were going to announce it. And then they were like, we got it coming. It's not ready.
yeah, no, it's now available for pre-order this year, so. And
Yeah.
that was at the Fall Pixel event, not at not at I/O,
Oh, that's right.
because it was they announced that
It's
it
like
was
I,
coming next year with more information coming at I/O, but they announced that there was a tablet coming when they announced the 7 and the 7 Pro
yeah,
and the watch.
that's the one where I did half the live.
Yeah, because I had some issues.
Yeah, you updated
I updated something and it
something.
broke my microphone. Um, Photos,
So,
remember the Magic Eraser?
well, hold on. I'm pretty excited about the tablet thing with
I was
the
gonna get to.
dock.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that first then.
Since we're talking about hardware, let's just go
Yeah,
in because I I read about the phones and I was like, meh, okay. Like the Fold looks cool. It's not my thing, I don't think, until I like feel one in my hands and see how I like it. Uh,
I'm fully planning on upgrading to the Fold next time I upgrade my phone.
Okay, I'm gonna play with it. I do want to check it out. I don't think that's my thing. I'm not super excited how big my 6A is. Like my if it's just slightly too big. I
So
lived in my
folded,
2.
folded, it's smaller. Like the screen real estate when it's in its folded state, like using as a regular phone, it's smaller than like my 7 Pro is, screen
Hmm.
size wise. When you open it up, then that's when you get the 7-inch the 7.5-inch tablet,
Yeah, which seems like a pretty cool idea.
which is
Not
why I was excited about it, because I was like, if it's going to be like the
NGO.
same real estate size when it's closed as my regular phone, it's probably going to be too big and too bulky. But the fact they made it as much smaller as they did really resonated with me on that one.
Yeah, and the fact that it goes into a 7-inch tablet, like the Nexus 7 is the greatest thing ever made.
I still have mine sitting on a wireless charger right now.
Yeah,
I still use it.
I have like 4 of them that all have different problems. I keep
do you
thinking
have
like
do you
I need
have
to
any
just
of them
combine
that
them.
have a working USB connector?
Yeah, I think 3 of the 4 of them do.
Because that's the only problem with mine is I can't do any crazy upgrades to it because I can't. Yeah.
Well, you bring yours up and then we'll work on combining them and make at least
Well,
2
we'll
fully
can we'll,
functioning ones.
we'll cannibalize to get 2 fully functioning tablets. Actually sounds like fun.
Yeah, because
Anyway,
I would love to put one in the dash of my truck, like as the controller for the radio.
yeah. The
So
11-inch Pixel tablet, it's got some crazy stuff they're adding to it that really made me kind of sit up a little bit.
yeah, the dock, the speaker dock,
Yeah.
brilliant idea.
And the fact that when you insert it into the dock, it becomes a Google Home smart display.
Yeah,
And it has really seamless multi-user support with certain things that are spread and shared between the users, and you can cast to it.
yeah,
So you don't have to just Chromecast from it. You can Chromecast to the tablet when it's in its dock mode.
yeah.
And then you can pick it up and go on the go, and whatever was casted to it seamlessly continues. That made me sit up and go, oh, this is something we haven't seen from tablets before, and I really like this idea.
Yeah.
And
I'm
honestly, the price it's not terrible
yeah, 500
with the dock.
with the
It is
dock.
bundled with the dock if you
Yeah.
when you pre-order it.
I'm wondering if you can order extra docks.
I bet you can. Or you at least will be able to.
Yeah. So that would be cool. Be able to put different docks in different places. I wonder how the dock will handle having like a case on it of some sort. 'Cause
So they said they were going to make a case for it that has a kickstand for the back end that will seamlessly move in with the dock.
oh, good.
So it'll have a a
Oh, here it is. I
the
see it.
kickstand. Yeah, you scroll down, you can see, and actually that case doesn't look terrible.
Yeah, that's not bad. And the
It's gonna be
ring is kind of
$80 for the
goofy, but
case.
$50 for
$50
the
for a
screen
fucking screen
protector.
protector. Jesus Christ. I love how we both saw that at the same time. I don't see order options for an extra dock, but that
Huh.
doesn't mean that it's not coming.
Yeah.
Let's see, accessories.
It'll probably be something where they were like, okay, we gotta get this out. We gotta get this out.
Yeah, they don't have the dock listed in the accessories yet.
Yeah.
But no, that was really cool. For $4.99, it's not terrible. It's a little
Yeah.
steep, but I mean, for everything that it does, I mean, you got to think if the speakers are anything like the Home Maxes, plus you get a
I
full tablet on top of the full Home Max thing, okay, I can start seeing it
I bet
justify that much.
I doubt they're the max. It looks more like the size of the regular home
No,
hub.
I'm just saying the quality of the speakers.
Yeah.
If the speaker quality is on par with like the Max, then I can see and understand and justify that price. It's a little on the expensive side, but everything else is getting expensive too. So
Yeah.
the one thing I'm glad to see that isn't expanding too far out in price is the 7A. They have been keeping the A series for the Pixel phones are right around that $500 mark, and I really appreciate that. Thing One bought a 6A and absolutely loves it.
Yeah, that's what I've got. 6A.
Yeah. Yeah, the A series, they are very, very good for their price. Like they're probably one of the best price to power phones out there.
Yeah.
And then there's the Fold.
It's
God
what,
damn, that thing looks amazing.
$1,800 or something?
Yeah. It is a
Uh,
little on the steep side, which is the only thing that's kind of making me hesitate.
yeah.
But a couple of the things that stood out to me on it was they're not using plastic for the screen like some of the other foldables are. They are
Hmm.
using Gorilla Glass Victus,
Hmm.
and it is IPX8 certified. And the really cool thing that you can do is when it's open, you can utilize both displays. And what the example they gave for that at IO was doing a live translation. So if I'm speaking to someone that doesn't speak my language, instead of speaking and having it audio translate, it will text translate live when you're talking. So they can read off the front of the phone what you're saying, and you can read off your side of the phone what you're saying. And it can utilize both of them that way.
Hmm.
The other thing you can do is open it up and spin it around and utilize the front display as a viewfinder for the main camera to take full main camera selfies,
Ooh.
which I thought was really kind of cool and interesting too. And then they're the split screen, and they got click and drag stuff, so you can click and drag images from one side directly into messages and all that fun stuff. So it looks like they're really pushing in a lot of really cool stuff into Android 14 for both tablets and foldables, which is good and needed. It hasn't been done in a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the hardware stuff looked really cool. I'd like to use a Pixel Fold, and I'd like to see it kind of side by side with some of the other foldables that are out there. I think Samsung's currently on its fourth iteration of the Fold.
Yeah. There's
They
looked
have the
okay.
regular, like the Book Fold, and then they have the Z Fold, which is very interesting to me too. Um, Also, I'd like to see and understand how the Gorilla Glass deals with like a crease in the middle, like a ripple crease, because it's going to happen no matter what. But how bad it is compared to like the Samsung's folds.
Yeah.
But everything throughout this was just AI, 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 AI. And there's some cool stuff they're doing with AI.
Hmm.
Um, the two things that kind of popped out to me, one of them was kind of, I'm not going to call it gimmicky, but interesting, is they're expanding on the Magic Eraser to do an entire Magic Editor system to where instead of just erasing, you can move certain contextual things around. Like they were kind of playing on it with some of the 3D space stuff they were doing. You know, those I don't know what all the 6A has available for it.
Um, I
It's
know it
it's
does the
like it
magic
would,
eraser, but I don't.
yeah, so there's a bunch of different stuff that photos could automatically do to cinematic, like a cinematic mode where it looks like the foreground is moving separate from the background.
Yeah.
It's taking that idea and just pushing it a little bit further with the Magic Editor to include, like, if you were to change the brightness of the sky or something like that, it would auto adjust the brightness of everything else to kind of reflect and make it look a little bit better, which I thought was really interesting. But the other one that I found was Project Tailwind. So the idea behind Project Tailwind, and I think it's in Google Labs, and they said something about being able to check it out, and I haven't looked at it yet to see if just anyone can sign up for Tailwind,
Yeah, you
but
can join a wait list.
it's it is a private AI model notebook that is based completely on your own inputs from your data that you have in either Google Docs or Sheets or whatever, or you pick the sources that it pulls from to build a completely unique to you AI for consolidating, organizing data, and all that stuff, which
Hmm.
is really fascinating to me.
Yeah. The one that I'm signed up for already was called Music LM. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah, create music with an AI, and you just type in your ideas and see like type in type in like funky jazz riff with a like rumba drum beat behind it. It
Yeah.
will generate that kind of music.
That's cool. Yeah. One thing that anytime they mentioned AI, they were always talking about responsible AI. And a couple of the things, like,
Well, that's why I liked that. I don't know. I The music one seems cool because then I could like have all these ideas to try to get out, and trying to like sit down and record and play them
yeah.
together is hard, but being able to like put some of my crazy ideas into an AI, have it generate it, and go, okay, that's pretty close. I could work off of that, and like use that kind of generate a band
So a couple of
to
things that
make
they're
my.
going to be, yeah, a couple of things they're bringing for responsible AI stuff that I saw that kind of stood out was any of their AI generated images will both have metadata and watermarks denoting that they are AI generated,
Hmm.
trying to kind of stave off some of the like deep fake stuff and all of that because they've been really cagey about releasing too much to, because of the that possibility. They're also going to be adding in to where for like Google image search, where it'll search for context of an image as well to include where it originated from, where other sources that it's been popping up, and that sort of thing. So you can kind of figure out kind of like a history of where that image has been and
Yeah.
what it's been used for in the past and that sort of thing, and trying to be giving context to searching for things instead of just giving you the data. They're trying to give you context for that data as well,
And with
which
the
they're mixing in with Bard and other AI search stuff as well.
yeah, and with the music LM, you can create an album. You can like create the band, and record an album, but you can't have the band pass the Turing test.
Yeah. I just I'm I'm still dubious over how corporations and companies are utilizing AI and what protections they're putting in to kind of figure out what's AI and what's not.
Yeah.
I think that the technology is growing faster than the protections are growing.
Yeah. And I saw there was a couple of different things.
I
I was
mean,
trying to,
I think having metadata and watermarks can be removed, but having at least metadata embedded into images is a good start. The problem is that the average user searching doesn't have the knowledge or capability of easily accessing metadata within an image,
yeah.
or even understand what the fuck metadata is.
Hmm.
Like, we take it for granted what metadata is, but you say that to someone who hasn't been following along for years and their eyes glass over instantly. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer to that is. If I did, I'd probably be getting hired by everybody. But oh, um, the other thing that's coming with Android that really excited me was they're updating the Find My Device things.
Hmm.
So for years, or for a while now, I don't know how long it's been, but for a little while now, Apple's been utilizing, especially for like their Apple tags, their Air tags, where it will ping off other Apple devices to give a direct location of where something is.
Yeah.
So not only is that coming to Android, the ability to do that, but they're also introducing what they're calling the unknown tracker alerts. So when you have all your Google stuff, it's usually all under one account. And so you have like a personal ecosystem of devices that all kind of talk to each other, all on the same account. If it notices that there is a secondary device, like tracking device, like one of those that's not part of your personal ecosystem, it will alert you that there is another something that's being tracked that's moving with you and will help you locate it. And they are working with Apple to make sure that this thing works across all phones for both platforms.
Yeah.
So if, because there's been tons of horror stories where people have found air tags on cars that, stalkers are putting them on people's cars and stuff. And so this is kind of a step to help. It's going, okay, here's a tracker. It's moving exactly when you move. So there might be something there.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of it's a really good step for a really good idea, I think. Plus they're pushing RCS even more.
Yeah. God, RCS is beautiful.
I love RCS so much.
I feel bad when I'm talking to like my friends that have iPhones because I know that Google fixed like all of the replies that you can do on an iPhone so they come up right, but then they left it so that that iPhones get the goofy reply messages. where it's like, oh, so and so thumbs up your
Oh, yeah, yeah,
text,
yeah.
and it just sends you a new text of that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Speaking of auto responses, Gmail's getting better auto responses and including fully contextual aware full replies that you can have drafted that will take in context to other emails that you've gotten.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. I don't know. It was a good IO, I think. I mean, lots of AI. So depending on how you feel about that, I mean, 3/4 of it was all about AI. So I'm not quite sure how I feel about all of that yet or not, but it was pretty good.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't mind the AI stuff. I like using it for, es- especially because I doing when I'm building websites or stuff like that. Like, there's so much copy that I have to write sometimes, and having that built in, having an AI built in, so I can just like type in some keywords and it dumps me out some text has been so freaking handy. I don't I don't have to think about it anymore. Whereas before I'd have to like, sit and think, like write a thing up and then do the editing on it, rewrite it again, add more, take out some, or whatever. But now I could just dump keywords in and it gives me the text generated and I just look, I do a quick like browse through, like, oh, yep, that all looks good. Send it.
There is something called Black Box AI. And it is an AI coding assistant. It's available in 20 plus programming languages, including Python, JavaScript, Go, Ruby, and even TypeScript. And you can ask it questions or ask it to do, hey, I need you know, I need code to upload files to Dropbox using the Dropbox API Node.js, and it will kick out all that code. I need a email response form in for a website utilizing blah 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 blah, and it will kick that out for you. Um, Google there was something else that they were talking about utilizing Bard with tools. Um, and it's now coming to Colab, which is their kind of like Google's code sharing and multi stuff that way. So instead of it being just shared across multiple users, it's now with AI that will help do a lot of that stuff as well. So there's a lot more AI coming into coding, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that'll
But
be
yeah,
helpful.
Blackbox, use blackbox.io. They also now have a um a plugin for Visual Studio Code. So if you use VS Code, like I do, it's amazing.
Hmm.
And it's not bad for it's not that bad or that difficult. It just looks really cool. You were mentioning that and I was like, yeah, that's somewhere else that AI helps out at. I utilized AI to help find context when I was searching for stuff. I found asking a question in Chat GPT was giving me some really interesting stuff too for school.
Huh. Do you see IKEA's AI?
No.
Yeah, they had to shut it down after like a week because it became shelf aware.
Oh my God. Why did I not see that coming? Shelf aware.
Yes, sir.
Ah. But yeah, that was Google I/O. It's going somewhere. That's for sure. Now, if we can't just figure out all the bugs for Android 14, we'll be fine.
Yeah, wasn't there something about the battery overheating?
Yeah, there was like some battery overheating. There's problems with massive battery drain and can't switch between LTE and 5G.
Hmm.
Um, it seems like the beta 2 fixed it on some devices, but not others. So I don't know what the hell's going on with it. The battery drain and the overheating thing they said was because that was pushed back to the Google app, like the G app. And apparently they could do a server side fix to fix that problem, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. Like
Hmm.
half the people that complain about it probably shouldn't be running beta software because they seem to be expecting it to work out of the box. And it's the same annoyance that I get for people that will buy an early access game and then complain that there are bugs and issues with the game and how dare they sell a game that's got these many issues. I'm like, you're fucking a beta tester. You're a paid beta tester. What the hell do you mean?
Yeah, you paid to be a beta tester.
Yeah. Like anytime someone okay, now Star Citizen I get because it's been as many years as it's been, but they still haven't even moved to beta. You're still alpha testing software and dumping money in alpha testing software and then bitching that it's a scam. No, you're an idiot for expecting an alpha software to be a full-fledged software because you decide to spend money on it.
It's like Arc was in beta for a long ass time.
Yeah.
They kept working through all sorts of issues and then finally gave it a launch. Like after people had been bitching about it, and they're just like, you keep sending us the bugs and we keep fixing them, and we're gonna keep it in beta until we
Yep.
get through them.
Yeah, I just I don't know.
Yeah, it took them like three years or something to get it out of beta status, just because they just kept like the more people would complain about something, they'd be like, fine, it's still beta though. Just kind of were like, yeah, whatever,
Permanently
it's beta.
perma beta.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just some people they either need to reassess and relearn what it means, or I don't know. I
I don't know.
think
I
I
don't know.
think the companies should have some game developers should have some responsibility when they call their betas early access, and they're trying to hide it under another fancy term instead of just calling it a beta software.
Yeah,
But whatever.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's interesting. And
Yeah.
it's a small pet peeve that tends to irk me every once in a while. And then some people I get that when they complain because they've done beta testing for a long time, and sometimes there are very unusable things that happen in beta that shouldn't happen in beta. That should only happen in alpha. And I get that,
Yeah.
but for your average person that buys early access games and then bitches that it's not finished, just shut the fuck up. Seriously, just shut up. It's not doing anyone any good to bitch about unreleased software when that's specifically what you ordered and paid for.
Yeah. Should go back to playing Roblox.
Yeah. Although that's the worst offender for not announcing that something is broken or beta or alpha or not should never be released and still is buggy ass fucking games.
Because Roblox itself is just
it's a framework platform.
Yeah, and it's people building the other things and releasing them.
Playing Roblox is like saying I'm gonna go on my computer and play Steam.
Our kids have developed. Your kid and my kid have together developed a couple of Roblox games that,
yeah,
at best, I would describe as alpha, and they have released them to the public.
Oh yeah, well, because that's what you do on Roblox.
Yeah,
you release out garbage stuff,
mm-hmm.
and that's fine. The fact that 2 8-year-olds can do that is just mind blowing to me.
Yeah. Yeah, with no official training on like development of any sort.
Yep.
Other than while we were homeschooling, I was Dominic was doing the Khan Academy, and I kept trying to get him to like go through his courses of like, okay, you'd be in like second grade, you'd be in third grade, go through these math and English courses, and he's like clicked out of that and found his way into like developing in JavaScript, and I'm like, what? Oh, hold on here, bud. He's like, but I want to develop games. I'm like, okay, I understand this, but like, you need a grasp of the English language first.
Yep.
Maybe some mathematics to do that. He's like, no, I'm jumping right in. I don't know nothing about nothing, but I'm gonna work on developing games. I'm like, well, at least use something that's not JavaScript, please.
Yeah.
Like that's for websites. Like that's for web-based stuff. He's like, well, this was the one that was there. Okay, fine, do whatever.
Yeah, it's fun.
Kids.
They're smart as shit. They're so much
Mm-hmm.
smarter than we give them credit for, too.
Yeah.
They're so much smarter than we give them credit for. Oh well. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a pet peeve. I'm sick and tired of people treating that stuff as fully released shit and then complaining.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. But that's the world we live in, apparently. So who am I to complain too much? I will say, though, it's also, like I said, it's definitely somewhat on frickin' developers because they are releasing pieces of shit and trying to hide behind, well, it's early access to not actually do anything with them. So both sides of that equation are somewhat true.
Yeah. I liked how the developers of Valheim handled all that, because they released theirs as like an early access beta. They're like, okay, we have issues, but we need you guys to like stress test this and figure out what's going on. And it was like the first month was just they were battered with complaints, and they're like, we're trying to get everything. Calm down. We're trying to get everything.
We're trying
Like
here. We're
here's like,
trying.
yeah, we're trying. Here's our list of the major things we're working on right now. Like, and they were really good about like communicating what was going on and
And
making
I don't
sure.
mind it if they're communicating, awesome. More
Mm-hmm.
power to them on the communicating side. That's a really good thing and not something that a lot of them do.
Yeah.
But if you're not communicating and you're just silent and expecting everyone to be okay with it, that gets a little on the rough side.
Yep.
And there are definitely some lazy developers. And even like these big games that should be a no-brainer that, you should have something very polished coming out of them. Even they're getting lazy and releasing stuff. So I don't know what's going on.
EA.
I think it's because everybody wants to get a new release every year instead of taking a good framework and then building and expanding it. They're just redoing it every year.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's smart, but I also don't work as a game developer, so who fuck knows if what I'm talking about.
Well, it's because we've seen things like Minecraft where they've like sustained a game for what, 15 years?
Yeah, by just adding features.
Yeah.
They didn't re-release the game every couple of years to make it all different. They just added new shit.
Didn't, but they did, but nobody plays the other crap.
Well, they've made other games based upon, but they didn't replace Minecraft with dungeons.
Yeah.
There's a big difference between adding something else and replacing it. So, yeah. Oh. I don't know. It's all what it is, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for suffering through our ramblings this week. We
Yeah.
always appreciate everybody come listening and tuning in. We really do appreciate each and every one of you.
Sure.
Come now, Brian. We appreciate it.
Yep.
Till next week, take care of yourself.
Later.